A very good evening to everyone. I would like to welcome all of you to our webinar. Before we start the program, I would like to say a few words about the University of South Asia. Legendary ophthalmologist, politician, and philanthropist Professor M.A. Mateen set up this university. His goal was to provide quality education at a very affordable cost. Our present chairman, Professor Dr. M.A. Mohd, is following the same motto. He is taking various steps to make quality education accessible to all classes of people. He has declared 50% waiver to support our potential students in pursuing their higher education dream. I would like to hand over to our respectable Dean, Irshad Ahmed Shaheen sir. As the moderator of the program, he will conduct the rest of the program.
Thank you, Nusrat Madam. Good evening to everyone. In fact, I'd like to send all our viewers the greetings of our month of victory. This December, we know 16 December is our victory day. We have come past that. I'd like to send all of you the greetings, warm greetings of the month of victory. And I hope you will enjoy this webinar titled Communicative English for Developing Career. Let's go to the panel. Let's get the panel first. As our chief guest, we have Professor Dr. M.A. Wadud Mondal. Here, he is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of University of South Asia. Then we have our special guest and keynote speaker for today, Ms. Zubaidah Muhammad Hakim. I'll come to her credentials later on. And then we have our guest speaker, Mr. Jahangir Hussain. He's a lecturer. He's a lecturer at Uttara High School and College. And of course, we have as our panelists, one of our panelists, Miss Nusrat Jahan, who is a lecturer. She's the faculty of the Department of English, University of South Asia. So first of all, I'd like to request our communications department to show the video that they have prepared on English Department of University of South Asia. Communications, please.
With the philosophy of inclusivity through education at an affordable cost, University of South Asia was established in 2003, and for 17 successful years, we have been academically nurturing the youth of Bangladesh. Our university is one of the handful of universities with UGC approval as well as Oxford graduate VC and Pro VC, who have been approved by the President of Bangladesh. Our Bachelor of Arts in English Literature and Culture program nurtures the students into young professionals with powerful communication and critical thinking skills who are extremely agile and adaptable in a plethora of work settings, as well as able to compete for top positions in the international job market. Comprising of highly experienced faculty members who possess international exposure and experience, account for over 35 years in teaching. Our Bachelor in English program imparts heavy emphasis on interactive learning alongside the provision of theoretical lessons, utilizing dynamic learning materials alongside a hands-on as well as critical thinking-based approach. Research, assignments, and regular presentations are an integral part of our curriculum, while countless workshops, seminars, and readings are scattered throughout the year. Furthermore, the Debating Society of University of South Asia, which is mentored by the Dean, School of Arts and Culture, has won accolades nationally as well as internationally and gives heavy emphasis on nurturing both debating as well as adjudication skills. We have two large campuses in Banani. One is nestled in greenery with 2 playing fields as well as a gym, and the other at the heart of corporate Banani. Our university boasts fully digitalized classrooms, whereas our library is maintained using digital software and is home to over 6,000 books. Whether you want to climb the corporate ladder in multinationals and banks, venture into entrepreneurship, join government service, become a journalist, enter the fast-paced world of PR, marketing and communication, work in embassies, or contribute to research and academia, our program has been especially designed for you.
So, as you already know, our today's webinar is titled Communicative English for Developing Career. And to deliver the keynote speech on this will be someone who is one of the most capable and efficient persons around to do this. Ms. Zubaidah Muhammad Hakim is our keynote speaker for today. And let me run down a little bit down the accomplishments she has. It's very difficult because she has such a long list of acquisitions and accomplishments, but I'd just like to sum it up a little bit, give a small gist of it. She graduated from Essex University in the UK, from England, and had further specializations from Iowa State University and Oregon University in the USA. And she also had specialization courses from some other institutions in the USA and the UK. And she has an extremely varied and colorful career as a language trainer. For more than 30 years now, she has been using different teaching strategies and techniques that never fail to excite and motivate her students to participate in all her training sessions. That is her specialty. She is internationally reputed for doing her job in a little bit unconventional yet extremely effective way, and that is what we are going to learn from her, to know from her. That is the most interesting thing, her own a system that she has evolved for herself. So without making any delay, I would like to request Ms. Zubaidah Muhammad Hakim to deliver her keynote speech. Zu.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Right. Thank you, Professor Irshad, and our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. M.A. Wadud, those present at the faculty, and also those who are watching the webinar from home. Right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm very honored to be here because I think this is a very, how would I say it, invaluable experience for me. Yeah. Okay, I'm very sorry, but I don't know why, but my throat is a bit dry today, and I have been coughing. Yeah, please excuse me. Right. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to share with you my my slides. Yeah. We're going to look at what a few famous people say about communicative language for developing career. Yeah. Okay. Right. Can you see?
Just a small technical glitch maybe. We are waiting for our keynote speaker to come back with her slides. Just a moment, dear viewers. Just a little small bit of technical glitch. She'll be right back with her presentation, her PPT and her slides. Please stay with us.
Yeah. Okay. So the title, as the title goes, Communicative Language for Developing Career. Right? Let's see what some people say about this, some famous people. First, of course, our father J.C. Richards, CLT, famous linguist. Now, J.C. Richards talks about communicative language being interactions, right, as both means and goals of study. And then we have Steve Bennett from the Bennett Group. They have a cattle business in US. Right, he says that regardless of the changes in technology, the market for well-crafted messages will always have an audience, right? So here, the keyword is well-crafted messages, right? When you communicate, you need to do it well, right? The third one is you can have brilliant ideas, but if you cannot get them across, this won't get you anywhere. So Lee Iacocca, Ford Mustang, right? What he means to say is, it is not enough to have all the credentials and paper qualifications if you cannot apply them, if you cannot bring forth your ideas, you don't go anywhere. Right, next one, communication is your ticket to success. If you pay attention and learn to do it effectively, right? So if you can communicate well, right, it brings success. Theo Gold is an author. And the last one, Jacinda Ardern, I'm sure you all know her, right? The Prime Minister of New Zealand. She has been voted as best communicator, when she commented on the Christchurch shootings. Yeah. Why? Because she was so communicative that she could actually convey her feelings, her frustration, and her anger. Right? So, fine. Right, let me summarize what they want to say actually. So, communicative language in career development, I would say, yeah, simply a language that is interactive but does not only convey messages but also speakers' intention, feelings, thoughts, and ideas, and promotes changes in listeners' behavior, beliefs, and attitude. Yeah. So, what we mean to say here, right? Communicative language is just not communicating. It's just not using language to pass messages. It's more than that, right? We have to think of speakers' intention. What do you really want to do with these messages? Right? What do you want? What do you really want to do with what you say? Right? Are you going to change the listeners' beliefs? What do you want them to do after listening to what you say? Right. So all this is communicative language. Yeah. Okay. So today I'm going to focus on communicative language from the working world, yeah, or at workplace. I know there are many professors there. You'll be thinking of the linguistics aspects of this, right? But I'm going to talk from the working world perspective, yeah? Because since I do lots of training on customer and English at work, I think it is only right that we see communicative language from this perspective. Okay, now the scope that I'm going to look at, right, the productive skills, yes, I'm going to look at the spoken verbal language, okay, and also, of course, as you know, the written language. Right. So let's look at the spoken language first. Okay, the importance of good and effective communication at workplace, in the working world. Yeah. So what are they? It represents the stakeholders, right? So good communication, good communicative language represents the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders here? The employees, the employers, the brand, right? Whatever you are trying to advocate, whatever you're trying to sell, right? So good communication, good communicative language represents the stakeholders. Yeah. Next, it involves reputation, image, impression. For example, if an employee goes to represent a product, right? He would go out there to represent the company, the good name of the company. So the reputation of the company, the product, the image, and what people think, the impression, are all accounted for, yeah, through good communication. So if you send someone, who, well, know the business, they know the job, they know everything, but they do not know how to communicate all these good things, all these excellent things about the company, the organization. It doesn't mean anything then, right? So you need to have good communication, good communicative language, right? Because it builds impression. And then good communication helps to avoid misunderstanding and ambiguity, of course, right? We know this, we learn this in language classes. Yes, in the working world, it builds trust. If you communicate well, right? If you communicate well through good word choice, and then you follow through, it builds trust. When you build trust, it will lead to monetary gain, right? If you don't build trust, who will want to believe you? Who want to make business with you? Who want to employ you, right? And then good communication also bridges long-term business and professionalism, yeah? Okay, so, when you talk, you meet people, when you, at meetings, at conferences, and maybe at business luncheons and so on, right? If you have communicated well, people will remember you, right? They say, oh, for example, let's say someone by the name of Muhammad, right? And people will ask, which Muhammad? Oh, Muhammad from South Asia University. Oh, okay, right. Yeah, we would like to have him in the meeting. They would say, you see, why? Because they remember, your communication. They remember talking to you. They remember how you have communicated with them, right? So good communication bridges long-term business and professional relationship. Yeah. Okay. Now this is what we want. Good communication, a good communicative language develops career opportunities. Right? Who would want to employ someone who cannot communicate? Right? No. Even if you know your stuff, even if you have all the qualifications, you have the right certificates, but you cannot convey, right? You cannot deliver, you cannot convince people. Yeah, you cannot impress people with ideas, projects, and so on. It's a waste, really. Yeah. Okay, next. Verbal communication. Let's look at verbal communication. The main components of verbal communication. Of course, when we learned at university, we look at verbal communication in a slightly different way, right? But in the working world, these are the components that are very, very important, right? So one is word choice, right? We have such thing as business vocabulary, social vocabulary, and so on. Yeah. So word choice is very important. How do you say things? It may be simple, but how do you say them, right? How do you convey these ideas, these messages? Very, very important. Because we talk about high-level words. We have low-level words. We have strong words. We have weak words. Yeah. So you need to know that. And then, of course, verbal communication is not only words and grammar and sentence structure, but just the whole thing about enunciation. When I say enunciation here, it means your intonation, your stress, your voice projection, right? Can you imagine going to a conference, going to a meeting, going to somewhere to promote something, and people cannot hear your voice, right? You don't sound confident, right? So it's the whole thing about enunciation. You may have, you may have the same sentences, you may have the same points to say, but how do you say it? Yeah, that is the difference. Yeah. And of course, now in the working world, it's not only your word choice, enunciation, and so on. Paralinguistic features are involved. Right? How do you stand? How do you look? What's your facial expression when you promote? Do you smile? Do you laugh? Do you have a straight face? Right? Do you look? Do you look at your audience directly, or you try to avoid looking at them? Right? So paralinguistic features count. Yeah, in verbal communication in the working world. Body language. Yes, body language. How do you carry yourself? Do you when you want to deliver something important, do you lean? Do you lean forward? Do you put your hands in your pockets and so on? Right? So they count. They have meanings. You may not realize it, but when we look at people presenting, right, we decide in our mind. We begin to comment. We criticize quietly in our mind. Yeah. So, for example, the next time, if you want to employ someone or if you want to promote someone to the next position, all this will take into account. You need to decide. And what you decide this on? You say, oh, okay, this person, this so and so, has good voice, very confident, yeah, can deliver in a very nice style, very comforting listening to him, very convincing, right? Compared to, oh, he doesn't look confident. He cannot promote. Yes, he may have all this knowledge, but sometimes he doesn't smile, right? Or sometimes he flaps his hands too much, right? So all this comes now. We did not learn this in school or at university, but in reality, when you go out, these are the important things, right, in the working world. And next, style and tone. What is your style of communication, right? Do you include a bit of humor? Right? Are you very witty, or are you always the business-like? And what is your tone? Right? Do you have this comforting tone? Do you have high tone? Does your tone sound angry or stern or very comforting, very understanding? Yeah, it's from the tone. So now, in the working world, when I do training, right, many participants would ask how can they improve these 5 features. Yeah, because when I talk to bosses, when I talk to managers and executives, right, they would want to know how can my staff, how can my my office mate improve, right, their communication. And these are the parts, these are the components that they look into. That they say, oh, well, they do talk about grammar, about language itself, but more on this, right? Because this is part, to them, this is part of the verbal communication. Because it comes like a package. Yes, not only you say good things, grammatically correct, and so on, but they want to see this too. So a verbal communication is not only words and sentences and grammar, but how you say it, your voice, right? While presenting it, while saying it, what's your style, and so on. Yeah? Okay, so all this. Now, at workplace communication, these are the must-have skills, right? We were thinking, some of my participants, right? They thought that the must-have skills are the skills to have correct grammar, right? Yes, of course, grammar is good. To have correct grammar is an advantage, right? If you have the words and so on, you have the knowledge, you know what to say. But you'll be surprised to see that the must-have skills now in the working world, number one, right, you must be able, when you communicate, you must be able to make small talk. Yeah, small talk is empty talk. It's nothing important, but it's very important. You either make it or break it. Yeah. So when you meet people from other organizations, if you are in the business or when you're promoting something, when you want to have a dealing, when you want to advertise, all sorts of things. When you meet people, you need to make small talk, right? You need to make appropriate small talk, not any small talk, not only talking about the weather and so on, but you need to make small talk that clicks, that stays for a long time in the listeners or in your audience mind, so that they remember you, right? If they like you at this stage, the small talk stage, and then it's like saying that, okay, you're going to have a long-term friendship, professional friendship with these people, right? Okay, so small talk is very important. It looks it looks petty, but it's very important. Yeah. You need to be very tactful, right? You need to be tactful when you communicate. Right? Yes, it's communicative, but it's an art really how to be tactful. Some people say you are born with it. Yes, but it can be learned. It can be nurtured, right? You can learn to be tactful. because you meet so many people, different people at workplace, and it's an advantage if you learn how to be tactful. Now, you need to have the skills, you need to be able to explain well, right? In whatever you do, whether you're telling your boss about a project, whether you are telling your ideas about a design, yeah, whatever, you need to be able to explain clearly. What happens sometimes, right? In reality, when you explain things, if things are not clear, right? After first inquiry, second inquiry, and they still don't understand, people don't just bother to ask, but they have already made up their mind that you cannot explain things. Yeah. So you must get it right the first time. Yeah. At work, you must be able to explain. It doesn't matter if it's in simple words. You don't have to have bombastic words. You don't need to use bombastic words. The thing is, you need to explain well, explain clearly. Yeah? Next, you must be able to describe, because in most jobs, sometimes you need to describe. You have to tell, right? It's like this, describing. Yeah. This is very important. If you are in the business world, you need to negotiate, right? Even if you're not in the business world, you still need these skills. You need to negotiate. You need, not to be, not to say yes, agreeable all the time. Sometimes you need to say, oh no, why not we do it this way? Yeah. So you need to be able to negotiate well. You need to be able to compromise, not only have your way most of the time, right? You need to be able to compromise. How do you compromise? What do you say? Yeah? You need to be able to give reasons, right? Explaining and giving reasons are two different things, right? And you need both, right? You need to do both well. You need to pacify. Sometimes you get angry people. You have people coming to your office, calling, right? Calling you. They're angry. They're not happy about something, not satisfied. So you need to learn this art to pacify people. What do you say? How do you say? Yeah. Yes, and of course you need to convey respect. Sometimes when you are in the right. When you communicate, when you say things, when you explain, when you negotiate, when you describe, and all these things, right? You do not, in your communication, right? You do not convey respect. It doesn't have, what I mean by convey respect here is not saying to that person, I respect you. No. But how you say it, right? And the words that you choose convey respect, right? They could feel that you respect them, you respect their brand, maybe you respect their job, you respect their ideas. Okay, so it's an art really to say things, and make people think, right, that you respect them. Okay, so this at the moment, yeah, when I do training, when people call me to do training, these are the must-have skills at workplace. And also when bosses want to promote the managers and so on to the next level, this is what they see. Can they do this? Can they describe? Can they give reasons? Yeah. And of course, this is a bonus, right? If you can include humor, right? If you can include humor in your communication, not all the time, right? If you can include a bit of wittiness and humor, you have got a package there, right? Employers would love you. And if you go for meetings, people will seek for you. They want to talk to you. They want to communicate with you, right? Okay, next. Now, I'm going to move to written communication, right? So these are the checklists. Okay, written communication, yes, we learned in school, we learned at university, we learned at colleges and so on, how to write. Yeah, how to write essays, assignments, theses, and so on. I'm going to focus for written communication. I'm only going to focus on email correspondence, right? Now, these are the checklists. Let's look at the checklist, right? Do your intended recipients open your emails? Hmm? Do you get a response? Do you get the response you want? Have you managed to put across whatever you want to say or intend to say? What fonts do you use when writing emails? Do you use colors or you stick to black and white? Do you use images? Are your emails well composed? How are your tone and flow? Are your intentions realized through your readers' reactions? Okay. So if you have all these, you can answer yes, yes. Oh, I do have this. You can write well, right? You have written good, effective, compact emails. Yeah. So these are the checklists that you need to know. Okay. Now, email, theory to reality, right? We learn how to write email, yes, but in reality, right, there are things that you have to think about, that you have to take into consideration when you're writing email. Now, this is science-backed. There are science-backed techniques on how to communicate and how to connect with people through writing, right? Especially email writing. Now, the psychological theories and principles, right, that you should know, right? The social psychology. You know, when you email, it's like socializing to some extent, right? Right. You have to think of the reciprocity principle, personalization. You know, especially if you are in this business of when you deal with customers, right? Okay, you need to have that personalization so that customers will come again and again, find you, ask you about the product, even if they don't want to buy, they would want to know what's the latest now, right? So that's the social psychology theory on personalization. It's very important to have this when you write email. And now you should know the psychology of first impression, right? Color theory. Yeah, we know you don't expect that, write emails, do I need colors? Right, there are there's such thing as color theory, okay? And then physical presentation, meaning the font, the image, and so on. But sometimes when you open emails, you find it dull, right? When you find it dull, psychologically, you don't want to read on, right? You say, oh, okay, never mind. I read this later, right? Or, okay, KIV, right? Okay, so it's the psychology of first impression. When you write email, first time you need to impress your readers, right? In the structure, in formatting. If it looks so cluttered, they may not want to read it. If it looks so long-winded, lengthy, most people will not want to read it also, right? So you need to be able to write, write an email of the right length, right? To make people want to read and want to respond. And of course, lastly is exposure, the exposure principle. How often, if you are in the business world, right? How often do you send emails to your customers, or to, it can be inter-department, right? It can be within, right, or inter-organization, right? How often do you send reminders? How often do you send the latest promotion and so on, right? So all this counts. So go for the scarcity principle, right? Don't send all the time, right? Don't email people all the time telling them, oh yeah, this is good thing to buy. Okay, I have this, our company has this idea and so on, right? Go for the scarcity, meaning you send once in a while, but compact, right? With something new that you want to add in, yeah? Okay, right. So email correspondence important. It's important to the writer, of course. It's the same like verbal communication just now. Email correspondence too. When we read the email, sometimes we look right to at the end. Who wrote this? Right? Oh, okay, this person. Yeah. So again, it's image, reputation, right? First impression. Right. Reputation is at stake. If you send an email which is haphazard, right, and sometimes the word choice is just not there, it makes people angry, or sometimes it may sound pushy, right? The thing that people are going to think of is, oh no, I don't want to open an email from that company, right? So it's the reputation. Huh? Then with all intent and purposes. Now, you write email. You must know what's your intention. Okay? Yes, you say hello, but what's your intention? Yes, you want to tell them of the new product. What's your intention? What's the purpose of telling people of your new product? Yeah? Okay, so you need to be clear. You have an intention, but what do you want to happen next? Yeah. Okay? So you need to know the underlying meaning when you write and send emails. Okay? Not just, okay, on the surface, okay, this is what I want to apologize, right? Or I want to inquire, but what do you want them to do? Right? What's the behavior that you want them to, that you want to see change? What they're going to do next? How they're going to respond? Yeah. Okay, so in email correspondence too, it can be the beginning or the end. If it's the beginning, they will reply. Right? If they find it good, find it nice, right? Your communication there, oh, I like this. I like the way she asks. She's not pushing me. She's not asking me for this information. She's not pressing me. But I would like to reply this. So it can be the beginning of something greater, or it can be the end. That's it. They would open it and would ignore your next email. Right? Okay, so write with visible words, not blind words. Okay, so a must, right? A must, the keywords is intention. Whenever you write emails, you must be clear of your intention. What do you want to do with that message? The desired reaction that you want to get, the response. Yeah? The tone, how is this letter going to sound? How is this email going to sound? Is it pressing, right? Is it anger? Is it angry? The flow, is it staccato? Is it fragmented? Right? What's the flow of this email? So you need to think about all this. So if you get all this, and then only you can say that your email communication is good. Yeah. Okay. Now, what do I mean? Just to have this a bit. What do you mean by underlying meaning? Right? Intention. Yes, the salutation. Why do we say that? Right? It's actually to show respect and to acknowledge. But it's automatic. You say hello, hi, greeting, dear sir, hi, Julia, hi, Mr. Wong. But actually, the psychological thing behind it is to show respect and knowledge. Why greet? Right? Why must we have greeting? Okay, it is the norm, and also to reduce abruptness, setting the mood. So you can't really go straight to the point unless you know them very well and so on. Yeah? Okay, so you do need the greeting. Okay. Preamble. Sometimes you have this preamble. Thank you for the inquiry and so on. When you can just straight away say what you want to say, but you need to write the preamble. This is to show respect, to acknowledge, to refresh memory as a reminder, and also as a lead in to something else. Yeah. And closure. Why need closure? Right. People will say, "Oh, this is normal way." Right. It's actually to show hope, to reduce abruptness, and to wrap it up. Right. Either one. Okay. Now, believe it or not, now in the 21st century email correspondence, there are cliches. So, try to avoid the cliches, but sometimes you can help it. So, how are you is a cliche now. Or you start with, I'm Sarah from South Asia University, it's a cliche. Why? Because all your addresses and names are already there. Right? Per our conversation. Yes, many thousands of people still use this. But according to some surveys, they say this is a cliche. But if you want to use it, it's okay. Right? Sorry for the late response. Yeah. People will say, oh, yeah. Sorry for the late response. Yeah, we know what happened. Right? So maybe that's why it has turned into a cliche. Right? I'm sorry you feel, try to avoid this. Right? The psychological thing behind it, whenever you say, I'm sorry you feel sad, people will say, no, you don't know how I feel. Yeah? Okay. And looking forward to hearing from you. I like this actually, but after so many training, what we have found out, and in some research and surveys, when you say looking forward to hearing from you, it's really you are not being truthful. Sometimes you don't want to hear from that person, so it has become a cliche now, right? Looking forward to hearing from you. And thanks in advance. I don't know why this is a cliche, but now it has become a cliche. And sometimes I think it's culture bound. In some parts of the world, we still think that it is good to write this. Yeah. Okay, before I end, my suggestions, teachers, lecturers, and language instructors, when you teach language, communication, right, teach language learners to communicate for 21st century demands and expectations, right? Meaning what they're going to use the language for in the real world. Right? And for students and future employees, master language competency, right? You can have good grammar, you can have immaculate semantic syntax and so on, but you need to master language competency. When to say, how to say, what to say, right? And what style are you going to employ in saying it, right? Okay, so that's all for my talk today. I hope it is okay, and I hope to hear from you again from the university, the faculty. And now I would like to ask if there's any question. Yeah?
The linguistic and paralinguistic elements that you presented, I think they are going to be of enormous use to the tertiary level students of our university, and not only of our university, of any institute or anybody who is seeing this seminar and will be viewing this in future is going to be immensely benefited. Thanks and gratitude, Madam Zubaidah. So I've been told from the back end that already somebody, one or two persons feels like asking questions on this lecture. They would like some clarification to have or some additional information. So communications, you can, I think you can let anybody who wants to make a question by coming into the broadcast You can let them, no problem with that.
A very good evening, everyone. And this is Sami Alom. I'm a student of English Literature and Culture at University of South Asia. Hope you all are doing well, both physically and mentally. And I'd like to ask our honorable guest, can you please tell us why communication is more important than ever?
Communication more important than ever. Right, of course. Thank you for your question. It's a very good question. Right, communication more important than ever. Of course, right? Why? Because needs are different now. Demands have increased. Expectations are more varied and extremely competitive now. Yeah. So there are many. And the world is connected more than ever, right? So you have so many challenges in communication. So that's why you need to, communication has become very, very important than ever, because there are many scopes, many areas, many criteria of communication that you need to learn, you need to know. Yeah. For example, you need to know how to communicate with different cultures, with people from different backgrounds, from different culture, right? And you also need to understand there are some phrases that you should not use in some countries. There are some phrases that you can, if you use, people may not understand. Yeah. So there are communication has become more and more important than ever. Yeah. Based on this, yeah, due to this. Yes.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the nice elucidation, for explaining things further, and for answering the question. We have more question makers at the back end. But before we do that, let me make an announcement that University of South Asia is pleased to announce that it is going to offer free, absolutely free of cost English language courses to the HSC 2020 students, those who are about to pass out, just the result is upcoming. They can avail themselves of this opportunity. Absolutely free English language, basic English language course. So communications, you might so that was it. An absolutely free English language course offered by University of South Asia. So can we get our second question make? You have told me that more people are waiting in the pipeline. You can put in another person.
Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. At first, I'd like to say good evening to everyone. And my name is Ashik Reza. I'm studying in the Department of English Literature and Culture at University of South Asia. And today I had a question to our honorable keynote speaker, to you, ma'am. My question is, how can we be more proficient in our listening skills?
How can we be more proficient in listening skills? I can take the whole day to tell you this, but since I don't have that much time, right, I find that, you know, I would advise you to watch movies without subtitles. Watch English movies without subtitles. Yeah? Listen to them, right? If you can understand the jokes, you are good. Yeah? And also, I would suggest you listen and mingle and communicate with people who speak English, right? You won't get it right the first time. Sometimes you do have questions, but go on practicing, talk to them, listen, right? And don't be shy to ask. If you don't understand, don't just say, oh yeah, okay. No, do ask, Right? Pardon, did you say this? That is to clarify whether what you have listened is correct. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So it was a beautiful question, magnificently answered. I think he got his answer, and we did too. Excellent way you have suggested, ma'am. So, is there anybody else in the pipeline? Is there anybody else who? Yes, I can see someone else. Somebody. Yes. Yes, you can ask your question.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. This is Rupa Shikdar Nupur speaking, Department of English Literature and Culture at University of South Asia. I would like to ask a question to our honorable guest. Ma'am, we all know writing is an important skill. What are your suggestions for overcoming the fear of writing? Thank you.
Okay. Meaning the fear of writing? Hello? Are you asking me about the fear of writing? How to overcome the fear of writing?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I want to ask you something. Why are you scared to write? Why are you scared to write? Is it this piece of writing, is it for you want to submit it for exams, or you are scared of writing stories, novels, articles? Right.
Ma'am, everything, stories, writing, or our questions, answer writing. What should we do, ma'am?
Okay, right. I would say that you don't have to be scared of writing, right? Do you know why? I think you are scared of making mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you will never learn anything, right? If you don't make mistakes, then people like me, the professors, won't be around. Yeah, we would be out of job. So don't be scared of writing. If you get it wrong the first time, right? That's why we have lecturers to check, to edit, and to tell you what's wrong. Yeah. Okay. So don't be scared to write. Just write. But after writing, after getting your feedback, you need to do something about the feedback. It's either you edit, you rewrite, yeah, until you get it right. Okay, but do not be scared of writing. Of course, everybody will get it right the first time. But what you can do is go on practicing. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks.
It's wonderful to see students asking questions about receptive level and production level questions about reading and listening, and on the other hand speaking and writing, and how well you are answering those, making them as lucid as possible for them. Okay, if there's no more question makers, nobody else to ask any question, we can go on to our next presentation. That is from our faculty, or there's some, yes, Nusrat madam. She's going to make her presentation now.
Okay, thank you, sir, for giving me the applause. So I will share my screen first. Okay, so I think everyone can see my slide. So because our keynote speaker have beautifully explained the importance of communicative English and different parts of it. So today I'm going to talk about a few tips about how to improve speaking. So the first thing that you can do to improve your speaking is try to expand your vocabulary. We can try to learn a new word every day. So because when we want to speak, immediately we need more words, new words to express our thoughts. So it would be really good if you can learn some new phrases every day. You can make a notebook and then you can note down the phrases, and it will really help your learning process. The second thing that you can do is try to improve your pronunciation. And I think it is very easy for us to do this now because we have dictionaries like Macmillan, Merriam-Webster, or even Oxford. They have included the audio or the sound of the word in their websites. So what a learner can do is just go to that site. So whenever they are searching for a word, they can also check out the meaning, and also at the same time, they can check the pronunciation. The third thing I think the most learners struggle with is they're not confident enough. So how you can be confident? You have to practice more. You have to, try to enlarge your boundaries on how you can use the language with in different circles with different people. So what you can do is you can try speaking in different situations. You can imagine, or you can think about a situation that you are in, and then you can try to speak in that situation. So this improved speaking actually helps one to build confidence. Another technique that we can do is follow the speech shadowing technique. So what is this? Speech shadowing technique is when we listen what native speaker says, and then we try to imitate it, or we try to copy that. So whenever we are watching a movie or movie with subtitles, so we can pick the word from that, and then we can try to speak in a way or imitating the sound of the native speaker. So this is what speech shadowing technique means. Self-talk. It is pretty important if you can talk to yourself in English loudly, because you can hear your own pronunciation. So because you can listen to yourself, so you can actually correct your own flaws. And what you can do is you can pick up a book and read a few lines to check your pronunciation. Okay, the next thing that you can do is think in English. So this might be a bit daunting at the beginning, but this takes a bit of practice, I think. You can what you can do is don't depend on the bilingual dictionaries. Rather than you can use the dictionaries which are from English to English. So when you start building up your vocabularies and try to think, using those words, this will work. And another thing you have to note that it's better to have a bit cultural knowledge about the English culture. Participating in public speaking events, this is really a good way to be confident and to be out of your phobia of speaking. So when you participate in different kinds of open debates, or you participate in different clubs, or try to tell a story using your own words, this actually helps a lot. It actually breaks the barrier that you cannot speak in English. So you become gradually you build your confidence. Okay, using apps. I think it's very easier for the learners now. They can just go to the Google Play Store and then download any of these apps like Duolingo or Learn English or Fluent U. So it's very easy to download the app on your phone and then practice using those apps. So in that way, you can actually mark your progress. Using different websites, or because all of the learners are very tech savvy, so I think they are very much acquainted with using different kinds of websites. So there are thousands of websites which is designed to check your speaking or help you to speak in a better way. So I have just given the example of 2 websites here. So you can just go to those sites and practice your speaking. The most important thing is you have to keep practicing. I mean, even if you're nervous or even if you're feeling uneasy, but you cannot stop. If you want to speak in English, then you have to keep practicing. So these are the references that I have used. And thank you. That concludes my presentation. If you have any question, you can ask now.
Was a really very useful and compact bit of piece of presentation. Is there any question on this from anyone? Is there anybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, go
Assalamu
on.
alaikum. Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Shamsul Haq Mitu. I'm a student of English Literature and Culture at University of South Asia. I would like to ask our honorable guest, ma'am, could you please tell us how can we overcome the nervousness when we try to speak?
Okay, thank you for your question. I think most of the learners, they struggle with this problem. They become very nervous when it comes to speaking in a second language. So what we can do is we have to practice it, because we are learning a second language and there is no other way to learn the language or to overcome your fear of using that language or to overcome your nervousness without being practicing it. So I will suggest that you have to practice it. You have to try to speak with your friends who speak in English, watch movies, and record your voice. So when you start this procedure, you will be more confident, and in this way, you can overcome your nervousness. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So, well, yes, English, learning a language, a second language, can be very frustrating at times even. You can feel like hitting a brick wall. You can feel like getting lost in the quagmire. You can discover yourself in blind lanes, one after another. Things of those sorts can always happen. But remember, if you have the determination to get over, and if you take it as a make or break situation and draw deeper into your inner strength and come back and go ahead, there's no doubt that you will come out successful as a very good speaker, writer, listener, and reader of English language. No doubt of that, and no doubt about that. Now, I would like to go on to the progression. Our next speaker is a guest speaker, honored guest speaker from Uttara High School and College. He's Mr. Jahangir Hussain, is lecturer in that institution. Our college is Mr. Jahangir Hussain, lecturer in that institution. Deliver his speech. Deliver his speech.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Hello.
Please go ahead. Sir, we can hear you.
Hello. Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum and greetings to all of you. Beginning of the today's session, at first I would like to give thanks our honorable VC of University of South Asia, keynote speakers, Dean of English Department, Dean, Sir, and Coordinator of English Department. I'm Ahmed lecturer in English, Uttara High School and College. My topic is communicative English. I will say something about communicative English. Okay, can you hear me, sir? Okay, now, in every language, there are 4 skills. Same way, in English language, there are 4 skills. These are listening skill, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So, as a student or as a human being, if we want to communicate with others, at first we have to develop these four skills in any language, especially in English language, because English is an international language. So most of the time we are communicating with others in English. So we have to develop these skills very effectively, then our learning will be effective, because most of the countries official language is in English. So most of the time we are bound to communicate with different officials. So this official's language is in English. So we are bound to share our ideas or opinions or feelings, okay, in English. So for I am saying another that for getting a suitable job, we have to communicate in English, because most of the job employers, they are seeking the persons who are very expert in English, especially in communicative English. So so the persons who are able to communicate perfectly, they are getting chance to get jobs in multinational companies or high officials. Okay, for if we want to learn something, or if we want to get our higher education, most of the books are written in English. So we have to communicate English, because without communicating in English, we are unable to get our higher studies. As English is an international language, we have to communicate internationally by using this language. So this is the modern language. This is the modern language. So to cope with the modern world, we have to develop our skills, especially communicative skills in English. For operating any software or computer or internet or Android mobile phone, Facebook, YouTube, etc., or watching English movie, there we have to use, or we have to communicate in English, because all these sites language is in English. Okay, so for if we want to build up, or if you want to do any trade or commerce internationally, we have to communicate in English. So communicating in English is very, very essential for everybody. Sometimes we are bound to travel from here and there. Sometimes we are bound to go abroad for sharing different types of activities. In that respect, we are bound to share our ideas or opinions in English. So communicative English is very, very essential. Communicative English improves our first language, because at first we think something in our own language, then we deliver or translate into another language. So as a second language, or as an international language, English is used overall. So we are developing our language or communicative thoughts in English. It improves our English. Communicative English improves our understanding of the world, because when we will share something with other people of the world, it helps our understanding of the world. If you want to share something of our own experience, okay, of the new culture, we are sharing this experience in English. So by communicative English, we can exchange our views of culture and tradition. Communicative English sharpens our mind. Communicative English sharpens our mind, because when we will share something, our mind sharps. So communicative English is developing our mind. It improves our decision making skills. Sometimes we are feeling, or we feel hesitate how to take decision. So when we will share other people, we get different types of ideas and we are sharing in English. So in this way, we can easily take decision in every sector. English, speaking English or communicative English improves discipline overall, because everybody, we are passing our time in disciplined way, and English is, as English is used internationally, so if we communicate in English, it will learn or it will teach us discipline. English, communicative English uh, develops our brain, because when we think something in English, day by day our brain must be bigger. English helps to get new connections. As a human being, we have to connect in different situations, different people, different societies, or different cultures. So when we will share something in English, we can easily connect to each other. English boosts our creativity, because at first English is the only language which helps to develop our creativity to do anything in the world. It helps, or speaking English or communicating English develops our confidence. If we say something perfectly, our confidence must be developed. It connects us to people, place, or things we care about, because wherever we follow, English is used. So English develops everywhere. English becomes smarter when we are able to speak fluently or to communicate fluently, using four language skills. These are listening skill, speaking skill, reading skill, and writing skill. Then we must become smarter. And English broadens our mind, and English becomes more open-minded. In this way, English helps us in different ways, and communicative English is very, very essential for everybody, because without communicating other, we are unable to develop ourselves. And especially in this modern age, we are sharing everything in English. So communicative English is very, very essential for every sector. Thanks to all. Assalamu alaikum.
Thanks, sir. Wonderfully said. It was a beautiful speech. Thank you very much, sir. So, as Mr. Jahangir Hussain was saying, well, English, for those who study English, those who can master English, for them, the sky is the limit. Simple. Because, accepting a few highly specialized engineering and medical sector, science, employers, the door of employment is open all the time for students of English, for those who can gain command over English language. And that is so true. In Bangladesh, the scenario is as clear as that. If you have good English skills, communicative skills, the skills that you have been listening to about throughout this webinar, there are so many sectors open for employment. So many, as I say, but for a few highly specialized jobs in medical sector, like those of doctors, those of engineers, and pure science subjects. Everywhere else, English is highly sought after. A student of English literature or one who has command over English is highly sought after in the job market. So no, there can be any denying of the fact that English, being the most popular lingua franca, is the most important thing that students should go for, should try to learn and get command over. So with that, we have come to the last part, the most important part of today's webinar, that is the most awaited speech of our chief guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor of University of South Asia, Professor Dr. Wadud Mondal. Sir, would you please deliver your speech?
Very much for giving me the floor. At the very beginning, I must thank our honorable keynote speaker for her nice delivery on communicative English. I remember when I went to England, I think it was in September 1966 for my PhD program. I faced some problems in communicative English. What was that? It was not the grammar, not the writing, but it was the speaking English. Because, you know, the way we develop the speaking English, our pronunciations and all these things were totally different. We used to fail that, you know, when you go to the market, the sales girls and others, they don't understand what we talk about. So, you see, this has to be developed. So, as our learned keynote speaker said, you should speak, you should write, you should talk. You know, these are the things, that's the only way to develop your skills. Otherwise, you know, nobody is going to develop it for you. You have to do it yourself. And I thank our keynote speaker for being with us. On behalf of the University of South Asia, Madam, you are welcome. Please help us time to time whenever you need it. Then our guest speaker, Mr. Mohammad Jahangir Sain, thank you very much for your nice delivery. I hope our students will also benefit from your delivery. And Nusrat, thank you. And at last, I must thank Irshad Shaheen sir for his nice delivery and for arranging such a beautiful webinar on communicative English. I do hope this will immensely benefit our students and they will improve their English, communicative English, and we hope a good future for them. Okay, again, thank you all for arranging such a nice webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks and gratitude for being with us for such a long time and delivering such a beautiful speech at the end. And sir, our Vice Chancellor, sir, Honorable sir, has always been the source of inspiration. He's always, in spite of being the Vice Chancellor, he's always a team man. He's always there to encourage anything good that happens in the university, at the university. So we have come to the fag end. We are going to conclude our program today, but not before I again announce that University of South Asia, Department of English, is going to offer an absolutely free language course, basic English language course of 72 hours to all or any 2020 HSC English HSC candidate. That means anybody who is going to pass, who is going to get their results soon, the candidates of 2020 can have this opportunity absolutely free of cost. You will find the ads going, you will find the posts going in our official Facebook page very soon. So with that, I think I must say that this webinar, today's webinar, we are extremely grateful to our Vice Chancellor, sir, to our keynote speaker, to our guest speaker, and of course our faculty, Nusrat Jahan and everybody. And of course, I must express my gratitude to the Chairman, Board of Trustees, Honorable Sir has been watching this program. I could see he has made comments as well. What a source of inspiration he has been throughout my tenure here, throughout my period of service here. It's a wonderful person to work with. So thanks to all, thanks to our viewers as well for supporting us so well. And of course, the people at the back end, I mean the communications team, have done such a good job in organizing everything and putting things to order. That is why this webinar, if it is successful, I don't know yet, if it is successful, a lot of credit goes to them. So I again express my gratitude to all who have been involved with this webinar, and of course our dear viewers. I'd like to call it a day, and I'd like to say we end the webinar here. Fi amanillah.